man who's going to be joining us in just a second. We're having a little talk off the air, and what I could say to you all before we get started today is if you feel something, say it. If you want something, go for it. If you care about something, make a meaningful move to do something about it, because life is precious. And, they say life is short. And, you might be sitting here going, man, I feel good. Dan, you're 39 years old, right? You've been living a bunch of years and you've been having a good time. And that is true. But, life is something that could be affected in a second. And I don't want anybody out there to not be doing what they love and loving what they do and being around the ones they love and being willing to take a chance. You got to take a chance on life. Take a chance on love. Take a chance on your career, your dreams, your aspirations, where you want to live, the people that you surround yourself with. You have to take chances in life. And I hope that you will, because this week has been a very, very clear reminder to me that you got to make the most of the time that you got. So I hope that you all do that, and I can promise you I will. With that being said, inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we have Adam Zaczcowski joining me for another Dolphin Dive. We have an exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Moyne College, the first of its kind, signed by the institution over 3 years ago. And Adam Zaczcowski is joining me here today from Moyne Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving, their head coach in the 2024-25 season. He's got some exclusive news that's going to be coming up in just a second. And we'll round out hour number one by talking about Major League Baseball. The Yankees prevented a sweep last night. The Bats finally woke up. They had some fun, and they won big time. And the Dodgers kind of just took it on the chin. The manager, not making any moves, saying, hey, you got to save the people for the next game. There's another game in the Bronx that happens tonight. If the Yankees take care of business, then the Bronx Bombers will be sending it back to L.A., and they'll have another shot to make this thing happen. So we shall see what we shall see. Only one time ever in the postseason in Major League Baseball history has a team come from down 3-0 to win a 7-game series, and that was in the ALCS when the Red Sox defeated the Yankees. Now the Yankees are trying to make World Series history in bouncing back and defeating the Dodgers after being down 3-0. We'll see what happens tonight, but we will discuss it. And in hour number two, we're going to start a new video, Fantasy Football, brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub in the Fantasy Football Power Hour. So excited to bring that to you for NFL Week 9. With that being said, it is time to go picture-in-picture with someone who I deeply respect and appreciate, and that is Mr. Adam Zaczcowski. We have talked to each other for many, many years, and it is always fun to bring him here on the show in Moyne Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving coverage with the head coach, Mr. Zaczcowski. How are we doing?
Dan, I'm doing wonderful this morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm happy to have you as always. Happy to be able to share the airwaves with you. I know that you have some exclusive content for me here that you want to share on the show, so I'm going to open that up to you first and foremost. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so we have our last dual meet of the season on Saturday, and we were planning on traveling out to Rochester to swim against Roberts Wesleyan. But they're having some facility issues. And so after business hours last night, got a call from them, and we were able to put it together. And so the exclusive news is that we're going to be having an additional home contest this weekend on Saturday at noon here at Moyne with the Moyne Dolphins versus the Roberts Wesleyan squad. So exclusive breaking here. You guys heard it here first. And we're excited to always swim at the Ryan Pool whenever we get that opportunity.
Yeah, and I love it, and I appreciate that exclusive news. I'm happy that you're going to be at home against Roberts Wesleyan, which is a great opportunity, another opportunity to be on the heights and to have this. So when we look at how things have gone up to this point and reflect on that, with this home meet coming up this Saturday at noon, as you said, how are you kind of feeling about, I know you and I were talking off the air before we got started, but how this season has gone up to this point so far, just what your takeaways have been, knowing that you were at Binghamton, you were in Hamilton, New York for the Colgate invite, and you were also at St. Bonnie's and then back at Colgate on October 25th.
Yeah, so we kind of started the season off hot, running the gauntlet with Binghamton, the America East champion last year. And so we started off swimming really well. You and I discussed this. They just had a little bit more than we had in the tank, and that's just the way that this sport goes. Um, After that, we went to the Colgate Invite where we saw Colgate, obviously, St. Bonaventure, and we also swim against UMass. And lastly, there was also St. Francis, the NEC school. So we had saw some of our own conference competition there. And we went to that Colgate meet last year, and at that point, that was kind of the first, a little bit of a deer in the headlights kind of a meet in the 23-24 year, first one Division One. This year back, much more composed. We were stroke for stroke with some teams that we didn't. I thought the hurdle to get to UMass was impossibly high, and yet this year we were there with them, stroke for stroke, with our best guys and their best guys, and our best girls and their best girls. And so, we're closing that gap day by day,
Yeah.
practice by practice. Our motto this year is always forward. So whatever we do, we're always moving towards our goals, always forward. We're pushing that bar forward, pushing ourselves where we can. Following that invite, we had St. Bonaventure at home. It was the fastest swim meet ever at the Ryan Pool here at Lemoyne. Pool records were shattered. Lemoyne broke pool records. St. Bonaventure broke pool records. The fact of the matter is that you're at a fast swim meet when the fastest ever time recorded at that pool is what it takes to win. And so we were proud of that moment here at Lemoyne. Last week we were back at Colgate. We were battling through some injuries, both on the men's side and the women's side. It seems like everybody's sick this time of the year, and so we had a couple guys and girls out, and that we kind of came up short with the Colgate meet last week. And then hey, we have Roberts Wesleyan this weekend. We were pretty confident in the results on that one.
Yeah.
And obviously now being at Lemoyne gives us some more time to sleep and rest and not have to get on that bus early in the morning. So pretty excited about what we think our results are going to be this weekend.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you have these record-breaking moments. You've had all these things that you've gone through. You've gone through adversity too, and you said this time of year with the weather fluctuating and changing, it seems like people are sick. I mean, I've been traveling, and when I'm traveling, and I still put a mask on the plane, and when I'm out there traveling and somebody sneezes by me or coughs by me, my face is such a I'll just cover your mouth. I don't care who it is, and maybe it's the New Yorker, because I've been in New York City a bunch of times these last couple weeks, but I was like, maybe that's coming out more in me that when I'm walking in the streets, I'm like, cover your mouth. So I don't care who it is. Stop. Don't do that. So, but yeah, when I'm on a plane, when I'm in that contained environment, I'm also the type of person that's like, if you're sick, stay home. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if you're sick, stay home. I understand you want to do this and you want to do that, but don't be getting other people sick. And I'm always cognizant of other people's health. And I know some people are not as caring about those things or even think about those things, but that's important to me. So, navigating through that, the things you can't control, like you said, having some people out sick and having to deal with that. How did you feel maybe some other people perform stepping up in those situations?
We had some guys and girls, who swam, lifetime bests. And so it was kind of this next man, next guy, next woman up
Yeah.
mentality. And so yeah, we stepped up and we had great performances, and when you're missing your one of your better guy, your best guy and your best girl, or that depth, when that depth chart really gets tested, it's hard to make up those gaps. And so you realize where the shortcoming is going to be time wise, but the effort was there. And I told the swimmers and divers at the end of that meet that I was proud of their tenacity and their grit and determination. And and we talked about this before, but there's no defense in swimming, so we can't preclude them from swimming. We can't get in their way. We can't stop them. So all we can do is swim our hearts out, hit those dives the best that we can, crack them out, and that's what we did. And so we're gonna keep fighting like heck, and we're gonna break through this thing, and we're gonna become a force here. I know we're it's burgeoning, Dan. We're just not quite there yet, but I can see it. I can see it.
And you and I were talking off the air about this, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Just this transition to Division One from Division Two. It started last year, and with your sport and other sports at Lemoyne, it was fast. It was hey, here's the decision, and now we got to go, and you got to do your scheduling, you got to do all these things, and recruit who you can or take what you got. And a lot of teams, yours included, it was like, this is who we have, this is who we've recruited, this is who we're going to bring in. So how, navigating the waters when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to talent, when it comes to staying who you are and keeping those foundational pillars, how this year two in Division 2 to 1 transition has gone.
We're at a point in the swimming and diving team where our seniors were recruited as Division 2 athletes. Win that model. Our juniors were also kind of recruited as a Division 2 athlete. Our sophomores, they came in while Lemoyne was Division 2, but we had that class understood that the transition was going to occur. So our sophomores and freshmen really have been here under the Division 1 only model. And so what it causes a little bit of a athletic difference. We are very heavy in terms of talent on our freshman and sophomore side, just because those folks were interested and wanted a different environment than what Division 2 could offer. And our upperclassmen, our juniors and seniors, they're great people. We love having them here, but they were just here under different circumstances. And so the magic here, or the trick, is to keep everybody engaged and everybody bought in. When you have the athleticism is off the charts on the underclassmen, and the seniors are the ones that are kind of leading out of the pool in terms of our dry land. Our team meetings are held by our upperclassmen. You can see where the senior leadership comes in. It just may not necessarily be on a stat sheet from a swim meet.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, there's different pieces that that go along with this, and how you kind of bring it all together. How has it challenged you? How has it inspired you to navigate through this? This is everybody I recruited before the move to Division 1. This is everybody I brought in this year. Knowing that we were Division 1, these are the people I'm looking for the future. How have you as a leader kind of navigated the waters of this, and how has it affected you, or has it affected you?
As as much as swimming and diving are individual sports, college swimming is really kind of makes this a team environment. And so, you can't win a swim meet without quality swimmers. You can't win a swim meet without individual wins. And so you need to have this cumulative effect of everybody kind of firing on all cylinders in order to get to win that meet, right? And so while it's individual races, event by event, cumulatively speaking, it's the team's performance that ultimately wins and takes the day. And so having our swimmers at or near lifetime best race after race, after we're beating them up and we're getting them tired and we're lifting and we're challenging them emotionally and physically every day, and they're still performing better than they've ever had for their entire lives. That's the inspiration, is that no matter what kind of adversity we can purposefully put in their way, they're continually breaking down those walls and setting the bar higher and higher every day. And so that's what drives both myself and the coaching staff to continue to push, because it's easy to get a little bit of a woe is me feel when we swim against a team who's been Division 1 for 50 years and we've been Division 1 for 18 months, and you look at what they have or what they don't have, or what we have or what we don't have. Yeah. And you realize that mountain is truly there, but it doesn't matter. These guys and these men and these women keep pushing, and they don't really care. They do everything they can to try to break through, and that's really the inspiration that we see every day in the pool and on the diving board.
Here with Adam Zaczcowski, men's and women's swimming and diving head coach at Lemoyne. I mean, essentially, Adam, you're overseeing 4 programs: men's swimming, men's diving, women's swimming, women's diving. And I think, when you kind of just say it throughout, because I think people just kind of come to this, like, well, this is just how it is: men's and women's swimming and diving. There's like one major overseer, and, men's and women's, cross country and track and field. And I think people forget that it's 4 in 1.
Right.
Have you seen an influx of something in your tasks as a coach going from D2 to D1, overseeing these 4 programs?
There is certainly a higher level of complexity that is required when you're dealing with athletes that are athletes. And so when we are designing our practices, when you're building our seasonal plans, we're doing the same thing, Dan. When you're planning a season as a swimming coach, you work your way backwards. So you identify when the championship meet is, you identify the starting date, and then you're able to kind of build cycles throughout that season, depending on kind of what you're trying to do with aerobic development and speed development and strength and endurance. And so the nuts and the bolts of how we construct those training models doesn't change, or is with that structure we understand. What the day-to-day things are what changes. And so what do I mean by that? When you have some of these men and women that can just swim faster longer, you have the ability to do more volume. It naturally occurs. And so the complexity of practices in terms of what we can do because we're faster, that has certainly changed from Division 2 to Division 1. And so that's more of the art than the science, is understanding how you can push and when you can push. I'm blessed to have Mihaly Zaczcowski as our diving coach. He was the 2023-2024 diving coach of the year for the NEC. And so he's really taken that program under his direction. He and I work together on the recruiting side, but I know enough about diving to know that I don't know enough about diving. And so he's really pushing those divers every day. We have a 1 meter board here on campus, but we're lucky enough to use Nottingham High School across town here, which has a 3 meter board. And so we're able to get these athletes training on both 1 and 3 meter consistently. And he's really taken that program to the next level. And we've seen that with having the NEC prime performers for both men's and women's diving last week right here at Moyne.
Yeah, and you mentioned your diving coach at Mihaly, and just what type of, to kind of go a little bit deeper, what type of expertise does he bring? Like, why him? Why entrust in him to be on the diving side of things and really hone in on the talents of your student athletes in that world? What is kind of the X factor that he brings to the table?
Mihaly grew up in gymnastics, and in Central New York, there's a little bit of a diving developmental diving lull, and so a lot of the athletes that start diving in high school were actually from the gymnastics world. And so in the gymnastics world, you're taught not to land on your head for obvious reasons. But he because he coached gymnastics and because he understands the fundamentals of that sport, he's able to transition those local athletes from the gymnastic mats to diving, where we have to both land on our head and our feet. And so he has the language to talk to those kids that have come up in different ways. So if we have some divers who've only ever dove and they've come through diving systems, especially some of our Albany-based divers. But we also have some athletes who started out in the gymnastics world. And so he's able to kind of wear multiple hats, and he's able to talk with them because the languages are different. Front flips are different in gymnastics and diving in terms of what they're called. Somersaults, twists, they're all different. And he's able to use a multilingual approach to kind of get through to those divers, and we're seeing the results week after week.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, obviously, you're excited. You love this sport. You were part of this sport. Your connection to it at Lemoyne is manifold. Student athlete, assistant coach, head coach. So when you look at where things are at right now, I mean, what energizes you? What excites you? What drives you to this day when it comes to swimming and diving?
It fascinates me to find ways to make things, swimming can get really boring, right? You're face down, it's silent, you're underwater, you can't talk to people. You're basically following a black line, right? A little bit of a Wizard of Oz feel, follow the yellow brick road. Well, it's kind of follow the black line at the bottom of the pool. And so, what are ways that we can challenge athletes to become better and to not make it boring? And how do we get them consistently out of a comfort zone to get them to keep pushing? And so that's what it is what can we do to squeak out that extra little tenth of a second here and there, and that pursuit of the speed and figuring out ways to make somebody just fractionally faster. That's what drives us every day. On the recruiting trail, it's how do I promote the school that I went to and how the school I love, and how do I get people excited throughout the country and the world about swimming at Lemoyne? And that's what pushes me every day. And how do we make the best program here with the resources that we have? And how do we, how do we punch above our weight class? And how do we do that? And how do we make Lemoyne a name in an area where, how do we set ourselves apart from all of our people, and all of those little things that you think about? That's what kind of drives me every day, is how do we get, Lemoyne to become a national player?
Yeah, and I love it. And I love your drive and your enthusiasm, and I appreciate the person that you've been to me. Before we get into rapid fire, I just want to let everybody know that this change in your schedule gets you home for another time, because you've only been home once this season against St. Bonnie's, as you said. So
Yep.
this Saturday, November 2nd, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Roberts Wesleyan is going to come to town, to the Heights, to Lemoyne. So come out and see them at the Ryan Pool. Then you have the Magnus Cup, which is November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. That's at Cleveland State. And then break, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, relaxing, and then we will see y'all back home. Well, you'll be at Canisius, and then you'll be back home against LIU and Niagara, which will be really exciting. Then Cornell's going to be right down the road. So a lot of great stuff coming up after the new year that you'll be at home for, and
Mm-hmm.
definitely looking forward to Roberts Wesleyan. I want to have some rapid fire really quick here. I'm going to let you start things off.
When we're looking at the World Series,
Yeah.
we saw the. I know you're going to be talking about baseball and the playoffs coming up in your next block, but uh, you know, when you've watched these baseball games, and these are professional athletes, what are you seeing when these teams are down 3-0, 3-1? How do they keep that drive, especially when you go from do or die day one with the emotion of trying to get through that. Now you got to go back up there and stand up there again. What have you seen in baseball that helps drive that?
You know, I think what I mean, and I've talked about this week with the Yankees, and Wake Up Call's tagline is where sports meets life, and it's very evident in baseball right now. Just be you. In life, just be you. You can't make somebody like you. You can't make somebody fall in love with you. You can't make somebody hire you. I mean, people think, well, I can, well, I do this, I put my best. Yeah, you put your best foot forward, but you can't make somebody do something. And I think the Yankees were trying to make things happen, trying to rush things to happen, trying to push things to happen. And you have to, you have to, there's this notion of when you relax, it will. Whatever that it is, be it a sport, be it a relationship, be it a job, be it trying to figure out where you're going to move to. When you relax, it will relax. And I feel like the bats were chasing, and they were so anxious to get a hit, anxious to get on base, anxious to put a run on the scoreboard, instead of just remembering how they got there, remembering all the work that it took. And they got there by playing their game, by being themselves, by going through what they do, their preparation, their film study, their workout regimen, their running, all the stuff that they do. And so, I mean, I think what keeps a team going when things go bad, I would ask people, what keeps you going when things go bad? And I got asked this question yesterday. They said, you love what you do and you do what you love. But on those really tough days, how do you get through it? And I went back to this time in my life where something personal had happened to me. And it was not life-changing, it was path-changing. And my mom was with me. It was a Sunday. And my mom said, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to get on the air tomorrow morning, going through everything that you're going through? And I said, yeah. And she said, why? I said, Mom, this person took enough from me. I can't let them take the thing I love. And so I would say to the Yankees, you obviously love the sport. And maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you are frustrated with it. But I would like to think most of those Yankees love the sport. You're playing at home. You're playing in the Bronx. You're playing in front of one of the most vibrant fan bases, not in baseball, not in America, in the world.
Mm-hmm.
When you put on pinstripes, and I don't care if people love the Yankees or hate the Yankees, when you put on pinstripes, you understand that the culture and that history and the meaning of that is insanely huge. So if you are a New York Yankee and you woke up a New York Yankee today, I would say to Aaron Boone, I would say to Aaron Judge, I would say to Garrett Cole, to Giancarlo Stanton, to Gleyber Torres, to Juan Soto, and so on and so forth. I would say to Verdugo, let the game come to you, appreciate the moment, be where your feet are, remember who you are, remember how you got there, and swing when you feel like you want to take the risk. My question back to you, Mr. Zaczcowski. I'm going to ask you a question that's going to cause your wife to maybe go back and watch this. so I'm going to ask you this question. We talk about life and we talk about sports meeting life. Relationships have adversity. When you're getting to know each other, one of you might be ahead of the other person. One of you might feel more than the other person. One of you might be more ready, and one of you might be more apprehensive. How do you navigate that coming from a man who is now married?
Now married. I've been married a while now.
No, but I mean a man who is married. Go back to your dating. How do you navigate? You know, she's farther than I am. I'm farther than she is.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this. She's worried about that. Because in dating, there's a lot of I don't know, and there's a lot of how do you know?
Well, I've been married now. October 7th was my 17-year wedding anniversary. And this past weekend, Aaron and I were out, had an overnight getaway in Rochester. We have my college roommate lives in Rochester, and we were actually out there for he's of German heritage, and so we had an Oktoberfest party. But that, you know, keeping things fresh after 17 years is about spending time with each other and doing things, and you know, realizing that, you know, that person is your best friend, they're your lover, they love you. You have to share everything open and honestly with them, and they will see the best of you and the worst of you, and they'll see all the cracks and all the bright spots. And it's that comfortability, pardon me, of being around that person, and that trust, that ultimate trust that you put in them, that allows that relationship to flourish. So back to your question about dating, I think that Aaron and I, before we had children, were at very different points where we thought whether or not we should have children. And then we were married for about 8 or 9 years before we thought about children. And there was a point where I wanted children and she didn't. She wanted children, I didn't. And we had to grow together to make to that decision. And so I think with dating, I think it's a lot about that. I think that when people get together, they get together for different reasons, and everyone moves at a different pace. And so when you see, there's that initial spark and that love and that excitement, and there's that intensity and that vibrancy of the first couple months. And then things become less new, but people move at different paces. And so you have to, someone gets somewhere emotionally, and you have to wait for that person to get there. Or there are things that you'll find when you're dating someone that just drives you absolutely crazy. Erin used to hang her purses on the doorknobs, and it would drive me absolutely bonkers. um I couldn't like, I mean, we got into a fight over hanging a purse on a doorknob. I can't believe it. But and there are things like I do, like I don't put my shoes away. And I know this sounds trivial, but the reality is that I have these little idiosyncratic things, and she does too. And you learn that there are things that you can change about a person, there are things you can't. And for us, and it worked because the things that I needed to do to be a better man, to be Aaron's husband, I was able to do. And the things that drove her crazy enough, that not too crazy, I still get to do those things. And so I think you move at different speeds when you're dating someone, when you're in a marriage long term. And I think that once you get on the same page, that's really kind of where everything sings.
I love the advice. And then the second thing I wanted to say is, you told that story the way that you said you build a swimming and diving season. You told it from where you are right now to being married for a few years to going back to dating. So I can appreciate that very much so. What's your last question for me?
Oh, I had two, man.
Okay,
All right, that's
all right.
fine.
No. We're going to do three. I just want to make sure you had time. What's your second one?
All right, more impressive, Daniel Murphy or Freddie Freeman home run streaks?
Freddie Freeman just sticks with me, man. He's just, I don't know. Like I vibe people, and I'm sitting with my dad. I had just gotten home from New York City this past Friday for game 1. And I just like I felt it. I felt it when like Freddie was first inning. I just felt him. I was like, dude, he's feeling it tonight. Like, I don't know if I would pitch to this guy. I don't know if I would mess with this guy. So 6 straight with, I mean, you look at what he's at right now. I want to make sure that I say this exactly correctly here. 6 straight World Series games with a home run has never been done before, and he has done it. So, I mean, I'm gonna say Freddie Freeman, because Freddie Freeman is just out of his mind right now, and I think he's super dangerous. And there's just moments in history that make you like, I start to see the book being written, I start to see the movie, I start to see the like overall kind of look of the clips of the World Series, and that walk-off grand slam in game 1, I was like, I could see that being part of the commercial of selling like the Sports Illustrated commemorative book. So it's like, the Yankees got a lot of work to do, and they're going to have to figure it out. But Freddie Freeman, Murph and Freeman, I mean, God bless them both. Freddie Freeman is somebody that you can't deny. I mean, he's on the minds of probably every Yankee fan right now. So I'll say that. My question back to you. If you and I started a TV sitcom, what would be our professions? We don't have to have the same one. What would be our professions? Where would we live? Like, paint the picture of DT and Adam Z.
I think it would be a sitcom where you and I would be some kind of sports psychologists.
Okay.
And it would be just these athletes with these ridiculous issues that they would come and lament their lives to us, like what shoes to wear tonight, or my agent isn't doing the right thing for me. And these just absolutely bizarre things that, from a fantasy standpoint, we all think that they worry about. That would be the sitcom, and then kind of the interplay back and forth of I can't believe that this guy said this, and I can't believe he's worried about this, and you know that's I think where we would go with that.
Okay. Okay. I can feel sports psychologist. All right. I don't hate it. I can live in that world. Come sit on my couch. All right. What's your last one for me?
All right, last one. Hey, tomorrow is my children's favorite day of the year, Halloween.
Yes.
What's your costume?
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Well, Lily having going through a surgery yesterday, and so there's that coupled with I was supposed to be out of town, but can I really go out of town as she's recovering because I don't want to be a bad father, and then how do I celebrate Halloween? I have not prepared exactly what I would be if I was going to be something this week, but I did have a conversation when I was at New York Comic Con about a couple's costume thing, and this year I feel like I would want to be, based on that conversation, I feel like I'd want to be Spider-Man, but I also feel like I have, I've been walking a lot more again, taking care of myself, eating a lot healthier. So I think I might rock out some Wolverine this year. I think Wolverine, if I was to do something, that I may live in that world of Wolverine. There was a movie that I got to work on, and they asked me to shave my goatee but keep my mustache, and I haven't touched my goatee in like 6 years, and they didn't know, but I was going through this, like, do I shave it off? Do I not shave it off? Like, what do I think about it? And I made and I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep it. Then I went to the thing, and I'm sitting there, and the costume designer came out, and she looked at my face, and she goes, I don't know if I like that. And I was like, oh boy. And she's like, I need to shave this, but I need to keep this. And so I did it because I know my facial hair grows back fast, and thankfully it grew back fast enough for what I needed it for, so to speak. And so if I just had the mustache, I feel like I would do some, I don't know, probably Ron Burgundy or some type of thing in that respect, something ridiculous, because I am a broadcaster, and he is also a broadcaster of sorts, so I feel like I'd be a little Ron Burgundy. My mustache, I couldn't. I honestly, no matter how you tried to swing it, I looked like an adult film person. I can't. I mean, that's what it looks like. Though when you have a thick mustache and nothing else, you look like you did something wrong. So like that's just how it is. My question back to you,
all right,
is so you and the family have gone to Disney.
Yes.
So, favorite Disney ride, and one thing at Disney that you'll never do.
All right, so full disclosure, went to Disneyland, not Disney World.
All right.
So we went a little bit more of a bite-sized piece. And we, at that point, the boys were obsessed with cars. So we went to Cars World.
Okay.
So to California, uh, California Adventureland. Sorry, Disney people. But we spent a lot of time in the Cars World. And it was the rides necessarily weren't memorable.
Hmm.
It was more about watching them kind of be in what Radiator Springs was and what they were developing there, and
Yeah.
letting there you could just see their eyes and their brains and their imagination just going to go to town because Lightning McQueen is driving down the road and you know all Flo's Cafe you can eat there, and so you are able to kind of be immersed in what you saw on the screen and watching them have that real life experience and being there late enough so that the neon lights come out in the middle of the streets and uh, those of you who've watched Cars before, you kind of when Lightning McQueen is there and he redoes the pavement and then the lights and anyways that was really special for us in the fact that the boys got to see that and they were able to kind of live what they saw on the movies.
I love that answer. What would you get rid of?
Um, Lines and price, is that an answer? Um,
I was gonna say prices. I mean, that's
yeah.
where my
Well,
head went.
I guess where right, supply and demand, right? Make it so darn expensive there aren't lines or limit. I don't know the answer here, but like it's gotten to the point where, I mean, heck, if you want the Disney experience, you might as well just go on a cruise. I mean, you get you get the experience while you're on the boat, and we're swimming people anyway, so we love the pool and the ocean. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of where if we're going to kind of do Disney again, I think we're going to go more towards cruise, just because it allows us to have a very unique experience while we're able to do the things we love and be on the cruise ship. So I think that's where we're going next.
Well, I have done a Disney cruise. It was a ton of fun. I got to watch Marvel movies all week long, and my mom actually got it for my birthday a couple Januaries ago. We went after my October birthday, and I had a great time. My mom was like, "I'm getting this for you, but like, do you want me to come? You want to bring somebody else?" I was like, "Ma, my first best friend." I was like, "I love you, so let's do this." And mom and I had a great time together on the cruise, and I'd go on another one. I bought a bunch of things. I had a really I'm a Disney kid, so I'm a Disney fanatic, and that not fanatic. I'm a Disney fan to the nth degree, and I love it. The prices are ridiculous, and I don't understand. I don't understand how the lines keep being so dang long, but yeah, I love Disney. I'm trying to sneak back down there soon, and I have fun with it for sure. But Adam Zaczcowski, you spent a lot of time with me today. You told me how much time you had. You spent more than that. So if I messed up your schedule, I apologize.
No
And
worries, man. Anytime.
I definitely appreciate it in a pinch and whenever. You're somebody who I tell you on the air and off the air, but you are definitely someone who embraced me and welcomed me into the Finn family from the beginning of the beginning. And I appreciate you're one of the people I appreciate breaking bread with. So let's make sure we do that soon.
Absolutely, Dan. I appreciate the time today. Thank you for having me on your show. Um, and I look forward to catching up with you off there soon.
All right, sounds good, sir. Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. That coming from Adam Zaczcowski here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hanging out with Adam inside of the Dolphin Dive, a part of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Moyne College Dolphins. And so I am honored and privileged, as always, to have Adam Zaczcowski and to have Moyne with me in this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside. We'll come back and talk a little bit about baseball, and then we'll get ready for fantasy football right after this. Here's a message from Renee from Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There's a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machine, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machine. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Appreciate you being here, hanging out with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and always appreciate you being with us on our social media as well, on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT, and on all of our channels. You can get Wake Up Call in so many different places. You can go to Audible, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. all you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. So make sure you check us out today, and I appreciate you so very much. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. We're going to get into the second hour of the broadcast today in fantasy football advice, but before we go there, I do want to get into Major League Baseball in the World Series here, because the Yankees have provided an opportunity for a Game 5. As you know, I had predicted at the preseason that before we got things started here, my prediction at the beginning of the season was that the Yankees would play the Dodgers in the World Series. That was my preseason prediction. And my preseason prediction of Yankees-Dodgers was Yankees in 6. Well, that can't happen now, but the Yankees can tie it in 6 and force a Game 7. They are up, well, they first got to force a Game 6. They are up, they won 11-4 last night. Bats woke up and the team took care of business and prevented the sweep. So really, really cool here and really amazing. Now, when you take a look at Game 4, there's Anthony Volpe, the New York Yankees, a shortstop, a lifelong Yankees fan, and somebody who lived on the Upper East Side before his family moved across the Hudson to New Jersey. He had a grand slam off Los Angeles Dodgers reliever Daniel Hudson, a 107.6 mile per hour shot that landed a few rows beyond the left field wall at Yankees Stadium. Gave the Yankees a lead to give them, ultimately gave them the lead and helped them on to victory to prevent the sweep. So just absolutely amazing to see something like this. Anthony Volpe, the homegrown kid, attended the Yankees World Series parade in 2009 when he was 8 years old. And, here's Anthony Volpe. I mean, and to me, like that is the thing, right? You live your dreams, right? You live your dreams and you chase your aspirations. And think about that. 8 years old, you're a Yankee fan, and you go to their parade to celebrate them winning a World Series, and then down the road you become a Yankee and you're playing in the World Series, and you're an integral part in how they kept their World Series hopes alive. 8-year-old kid, 2009 World Series parade. Young man, a Yankee himself now, in the World Series, where some 8-year-old somewhere in the world wants to shake his hand. That's God. That's hard work. That's determination. That's the thing that gives you the feels, right? That's the thing that gives you the feels. This feeling of amazing things that are beyond people's wildest dreams, but they come true. So, yeah, the Yankees are down 3-1. Their back is against the wall. Nobody's ever won a World Series being down 3-0. But like I said before, it's about playing your game. It's about relaxing. It's about letting something come to you. It's about waiting and seeing and enjoying and doing the best you can. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know what life is going to bring us. But when you chase your dreams and you take calculated risks toward things that you really think can help to make you better, you never know what you're going to find. You never know what's going to happen. This world has so much good in it. And sometimes it's a centimeter away. right in front of your face. And other times, you got to dig for it. Other times, you got to go other places for it. But how incredible a story of Anthony Volpe. And how anyone of any age should look at that moment and say, if Anthony Volpe could be a kid, a fan in the stands, and then be on the field himself for the team that he's loved his whole life, why can't I achieve the dreams that I set out to achieve? Why can't I make magic happen? Because there's a lot of things that we may not be able to do, right? We physically can't do it. You know, we're not. Think about it like this, right? Call up somebody you care about. They live in a different place than you do. And you say, well, I want to do something for you. I want to help you out. I want to be there for you. And they say, well, you can't be here. You're not here. And you say, no, I'm going to create something. And in the moment, something you've never thought of before comes to your mind. And it comes to your mind because, one, God loves you. And two, you care about that person. And when you care about somebody and they mean something to you, you can create magic just by living in the moment. And I am excited for this, for the Yankees. I'm excited for this opportunity. They're back in the Bronx tonight. They got a shot. And it's not that I don't respect the Dodgers, because I do. But when you're a fan of the game itself, I want 7 games. I know the Dodgers are like, we want to be done, Dan. We don't want no 7 games. I want 7 games. I want to see 7. Wednesday, October 30th, today, at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox, the Dodgers will be in the Bronx against the Yankees. And Flaherty's back to the mound, and Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole had a tremendous Game 1, and they took him out. Hopefully, for the Yankees' sake, Garrett Cole has a tremendous Game 5, and they don't take him out. And we'll see what happens here. It's definitely exciting. And Flaherty had himself a heck of a Game 1, and Garrett Cole had himself a heck of a Game 1 as well. And here we go. Game 5, Yankees need to win. Dodgers can clinch their World Series championship. They can win this thing tonight, or the Yankees can get even closer, be down 3-2, and then go back to LA. So we shall see what's going to happen here. But the excitement is here. The stories are here. Freddie Freeman, nobody in the history of Major League Baseball has ever hit a home run in 6 straight World Series games. He has. Anthony Volpe, the 8-year-old at a parade for the Yankees team he loves, to being now a Yankee himself wearing pinstripes. Getting a hit that helps to keep the Yankees alive. So much excitement. So much fun. And it all continues tonight at 8 o'clock. 8:08. So be watching. And I'm excited for it. So I look forward to it. I'll be watching. With that being said, we're going to end this video and start a new one with fantasy football. You know, fantasy football gets its own video, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York, because I want to make sure that my fantasy football people can get to the information instantaneously. So we're going to end this video, start a new one, and our audio feed. So wherever you are with us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Podbean, stay with us. We will be back momentarily.